Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the YouTube channel. It's been a little bit of a while. I've been posting some really good videos, but I'm so excited about this one because I'm going to be revealing another strategy that one of my students has been using, which is pretty much allowing them to make over $10,000 every single month. And it involves taking reversals, but also trading patterns and identifying those patterns on pocket option. I think you're going to love it. So let's get straight into it. What's very fascinating and very cool about this strategy is that it doesn't involve or use any indicators. You're purely just looking at the color of the candlesticks and where you are positioned within the market, right? You need to understand the conditions and then use those conditions to then go and trade it. Now, as you know, in a typical market, it either moves clearly upwards, right? For example, over here, once again, clearly upwards, or it moves clearly downwards, or it moves sideways. Now, in this sort of strategy that the student is using, that is allowing them to make a lot of money, they are only trading in the markets where the markets are moving sideways. Why is that? Well, in these markets, you are basically trading in what we call a range. And a range always bounces between areas of support and resistance. As you can see over here, every time it gets up here, it reverses down. When it gets down here, it reverses up. When it gets down here, it reverses down, which means that it trades off of what we call a discount or a thing called mean reversion, which is the middle price range of this range or this zone, right? It is always going to be concentrated around this fair price, which is what the students was very intelligent about and actually discovered. And I've tested it for myself. It is extremely good. So when you identify a range like this, all that you are looking for is for the market to get close to this middle line. And the moment it gets close to this middle line, you can start looking for entries in the opposite direction, because every time it gets to this middle line of this range, it always has to reverse. And that's where you use pattern recognition. For example, over here, we can see the market is moving upwards towards this middle line, and you can see it basically prints a couple green candles, but then right after that, it prints a bunch of red candles, right? The pattern that we're going to be looking for is the green, red, red, green pattern. And then we're going to go for a buy on this one, or we're looking for the red, red, green, green, right? Or the red, green, green, red, or the green, red, red, green. Those sort of patterns, right? It's mean reversion, and it's pretty much the market reversing two up, two down, two up, two down. As you can see over here, it goes two up, two down, two up, and then it'll go two down over here. You can see once again at this range over here, at this middle line, at this intermediate zone, call it like a fair price where it's right in the middle. You see once again, it goes two down and then it goes up, right? Two up, one down, two up, one down. And this allows us to pretty much go and predict this price when we are trading in these areas. Now, for example, we saw two green candles go up. All we need to do is take a sell on the next candle and we'd win, right? Then we just need to wait for two red candles to go down. We would take a buy on the next one and we would win, right? We would see two green candles go up. We take a sell on the next one and we win. It's literally just the market reversing and basically trending at a discount or trading at a discount and printing these candles at a discount so that it always stays within these levels. And as long as you're trading within the middle line of this entire range where the market is moving sideways, you are going to be profitable as long as you trade it correctly. Let's go find some other examples. Let me go and delete these over here, and let's go find another sideways market so that you can see. And then what I'll do is I'll do a little bit of back testing so you can actually see how well this really performs using the quick trading calculator over here and being able to then go and calculate the win rate of this, see the risk behind it, whether it is actually profitable or not. I already know that it is, but I want you to see for yourself. So once again, you see this is a sideways moving market over here. For example, that would be the top of our range over there, right? Then all we need to do, once again, is add a couple more lines here. We have a bottom part of our range over here, and then a middle part of our range. And what do you notice again? That same pattern plays out. The red, green, green, red, right? Or when you see two green, a red one comes. When you see two red, a green one comes. When you see two green, a red one comes, or two red and a green one comes. That is mean reversion, and you can always see every single time it crosses this middle line, it reverts always back to the fair price, the middle price, the average price. And once again, 2 down over here reverses back up to the average price, right? 2 up here reverses back down to the average price. So all that we're trading is pattern recognition with a bit of fair price inside of a sideways moving market. I want you to completely ignore this in markets where it's moving upwards beautifully like that or downwards beautifully like that. It's not going to work. It needs to be a sideways moving market like this, established after about, I'd say, 5 candles of moving sideways. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then pretty much from around this point over here, you can start looking for trades. And then we see 2 red goes down, we would look for a buy, we would win that one. We see 2 green candles, we would sell on this one, and once again, we would win. So that's once again another example. Let's go and look at one final one so that you can get it into your head, and then we will go and actually do a bit of back testing, right? You see, a lot of these markets are random markets, and that's something you need to understand. You cannot be trading in random markets. This is not a sideways moving market. Why? There are 3 things inside of a random market that ensures that you shouldn't be trading in it. It is these long wicks over here, right? If you see a lot of long wicks, if you see a lot of these big red candles or big green candles all over the show, that shows that the candles are moving very quickly, and you need to stay away from that. The final one is when the market is jumping, when it is going from down here and then jumping up there, or going from up here and then jumping down there. So it's those 3 things: long wicks, very big candles that move very quickly with a lot of volatility and also a lot of gaps. That tells you the market is random. Remember the example that I showed you way back over here? That was not random. The market was moving perfectly sideways, and that is exactly what we want to be trading in, right? So let's go find a better example over here so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So there's obviously nothing over here. They are all completely random markets, so we wouldn't be trading in any of this. Once again, you see long wicks, very big candles, and lots of gaps, right? So this is completely unpredictable, and at that point, you'd just be gambling, right? You want to be trading in a beautiful sideways moving market that is creating these ranges that you can actually go and trade. And right now, I'm struggling to find that because the market is that random. But when we do find it, you'll be able to see how powerful that this actually is. For one last example, okay, this market isn't producing the correct results for a type of market that we actually want to be trading in, but let's keep looking for it, and I'll get back to you when I find it. Amazing. So here we go. I've literally gone and found the market now, and you can see once I add 3 horizontal lines, we have the top of our range over here, we have the bottom of our range roughly around over here, and then the middle of our range is right over there. And what can you see? Once again, we have our range that begins, and then the patterns start to print. Once again, remember 2 up, and then you would sell on the next one and you would win, or 2 up, sell and win, or 2 down, and then you would buy and you would win. Now, what happens if you lose on the first one? You are more than welcome to re-enter and take another trade, as you'll see when we do some examples. For example, over here, we wouldn't be entering off of this because we can't see us moving sideways yet. I'd say from this candle, after this red candle, which is roughly about between 5 and 8 candles of it moving sideways, for us to know that it actually is going to be in a ranging market. Also, another tip, ranging markets always come after a trend. You can see a beautiful trend over here, ranging market, beautiful trend, and then a ranging market. So it's always coming after a massive push inside of a trend. Now, as you can see over here, we have 2 green candles, right? We have, for example, the pattern, the red, green, green, red pattern, or the green, red, red, red pattern. Over here, we had a green, red, 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 green, but obviously if you wanted to take an entry off of here, you would have re-entered, and you would have lost on this first one and won on the second one and still made money. However, we're not trading this early into the range. And as you can see over here, the only patterns where we would be taking trades is where it goes 2 green and then you sell on this one and you win. 2 green, you sell on this one and you win. 2 green over here, and you can see it breaks out of our range, so we wouldn't take the trade, right? So that's also another parameter that you need to understand, is you shouldn't be taking trades when it gets out of the range, because that's the start of a brand new trend upwards, and you can see a brand new trend upwards begins. You have to take these trades inside of the range, and you can see over here we would have had 2 trading opportunities where it goes 2 up over here, you sell on this one, you win. 2 up here, you sell on this one and you win, right? If it goes and breaks out of the range and closes above the range, you need to get out of the market, because that is no longer trading at the fair price in the middle over here. It is now trading off of a breakout, which is going to start a brand new trend, and you don't want to be trying to take mean reversion trades inside of a trend. It's simply not going to work. Perfect. Now let's go and actually enter all the details inside of this calculator. So let's say you started off with a $10,000 account over here with $100 trades. The goal that we're going to be aiming for is 5 units. Over here we have 0 units, and we are going to calculate our risk to be 2%. Let's do 2% of our accounts over here. If you're wondering what this is the quick trading calculator and the session tracking calculator that I use, that my students are using, that is allowing them to become profitable. Why is that? Because they are able to literally go and track their sessions over here and see their win rates, see how much money they're up, see whether they are profitable, pretty much allocate their risk, know how much they are making per trade based on the payouts. You're tracking your sessions adequately so that you can be profitable, because the last thing you want is to be trading without knowing what is happening during your session, especially on the equity curve, and being able to quantify that, right? You need to be able to see what is happening during your session to make a qualified decision of whether you want to get out of the markets or not. And having a calculator like this is going to give you even more of that clarity. So if you want to get access to it, just click the link down below. I'll leave it in the description and go and access it and let me know what you think about it. Okay, perfect. So as you can see, we have our example of a range over here. What we need to do is go and draw our high points over there, our low points over there, and then the middle points over here. As you know, this is the highest points of our range, the lowest points of our range, and the middle point, which is the fair price, which the range will always trade towards. Now, there are plenty of examples over here of trades that we could have taken. As you can see, the sideways market begins in the range, and we have our typical patterns. Remember, in the range, using the strategy, what are we looking for? We're looking for either 2 reds and then a buy, or 2 greens and then a sell, right? And if you lose off the first trade, you're more than welcome to re-enter. Now, the rule states that if it breaks out of the range, like over here, then you don't take the trade, because it's just going to start a brand new trend. As you can see, it's going to start moving up. But also, if you lose 2 trades in a row, you are out. And what I mean by that is, let's say you had 2 red over here, and then you tried to buy in this one and it lost, well, then you would just re-enter on the next one, and then if you win that one, you classify that as a win. But if you lose both, you get out. Also, let's say if you're in a trading cycle, let's say you saw these 2 reds here and you wanted to buy, but then a massive red candle closed outside of here, you wouldn't re-enter, because that's just going to break out and start a brand new trend, which you don't want to be buying in. Trust me, you don't want to be buying in the downtrend. Okay, so as we see over here, we have what it looks like to be 3 wins, because we had 2 reds over here, and we would buy in this one, and we would win. Now, we would set this to be $200 when we actually take the trade, and you can see that based off of the account balance over there. But also, using the quick trading calculator, we can quantify this and be able to see that we're going to use 2% risk. So over here, we had 2 reds inside of this range. We would buy in this one, and we would end up winning that trade. So all you have to do is click win, and then it adds all the statistics in here. You can see it tracks your win rates, your expected value, your profit and loss, your units, your peak units, your trailing stop, things like the verdict, are you profitable or not, your take profit, and plenty other stats over here like your equity curve, as I already explained. So we won that first trade. Now let's go back to this range and see if we can find plenty other examples. And what do we see over here? We see 2 green candles. Remember, the 2 patterns we're looking for is 2 red going down and a buy for a green candle, which happened here, or 2 green candles and then we sell and win on that one, right? So we had 2 green over here, we would sell on this one, and once again we would win. So we would add a win over there once again, and you can see now we are up $368, still with 100% win rates. Let's go and see if there are plenty more examples. Here we go, another one, 2 red over here, we would buy on this next one for a green candle to print, and it does, and once again we would win that one. So we can add another one there. Boom, perfectly. So we can see we are up 3 units over there, and we are still looking for more trades. But what you can notice is that we break out, right? So we have 2 green candles here. However, this candle ends up breaking out, and once again, you wouldn't sell on that one because that's baby, woo, that's you see. But I know where it is. I know where it is. But you can see that this is basically just going to start a brand new trade, and you don't want to be selling in that. And as you can see, you would end up losing that trade right over there. So inside of this range, we would have had a total of 3 units gained at 100% win rates. And if we did $200 trades with the $10,000 accounts, you would have made $552 in just that short amount of time. So now let's go and find some more examples so that you can see how this performs. Okay, here we go. We can see once again another example. So what we need to do is click the horizontal line over here 3 times. Another thing before I continue, make sure you trade this on 10 seconds. So it needs to be a 10-second candle time frame over here and 10-second trades. Now, Where's our high point? It is over there. Where's our low point? Over there. Where is the middle point or the fair price? Right over there. And you can see how the price is constantly oscillating and moving around this range, around this zone of fair price. Now, what are we looking for once again? That sideways movement. And I'd say roughly from around this point, we can start looking for entries. Now, what do we notice? We're looking for our 2 reds, and then we would buy hoping for a green. Or 2 greens, and then look for a sell, hoping for red. What do we notice over here? We see 2 reds. We would buy on this one, and we would lose, right? So we need to go and enter that as a loss. But we are more than welcome to re-enter on the next trade. So we lost on this one, but we buy on the next one and win again. Why is that? Because if the price pushes past this middle line over here, it is always likely to revert and have mean reversion back towards it. So we're going to win that one over there, and that is going to be our re-entry, and that's just going to take us back as a break even to where we were. And we are still at, well, we're at an 80% win rate now with 3 units still to our name. So let's see if we can find some more examples over here. And there we go, right in front of us. We have 2 green over here, so we're going to sell on this one, and we're going to end up winning that trade right over there. So we're literally going to go add a win here, and then you can see we are now at 4 units, right? $720 if you were doing $200 trades, and you can see how good this win rate actually is. Let's do some more examples over here and see if we can find some. Here we go. Once again, we have 2 greens over here. We would sell on that one and we would have won, as I already explained. But now we have 2 reds over here. 2 reds over here. Now what we are looking for is to take a buy. And of course, we would buy in this one. It's a red candle, so we would have lost. So we add a loss over there. But now, because we are welcome to re-enter off the next trade, we would buy in this one, expecting it to reverse back up to the middle price, the middle zone right over here is where I'd say, and we would have won on this green candle over here because we had 2 red, we bought on this one, we lost, we entered that in the calculator over here, but now we're just going to take another buy and win on that one right over there. So once again, that's going to take us back up to 4 units over here, and that still puts us at a 75% win rate across this backtesting session. Now I know some of you might actually be a little bit frustrated that I'm not trading this live, and some of you have been commenting it. I have seen you guys commenting this all over the show. You need to understand that first, what I want to do is actually break down how the strategy works, do a bit of back testing, and in future videos, what I'm going to do is actually trade these live in front of you so you can see how they perform in real time. I've done that for all the strategies that I've shown you, for all the strategies that I've tested. So just stay tuned for me actually trading this live in front of you. But yeah, as you can see, we would have ended up winning our second re-entry over there. And that would have brought us back up to this break-even point over here. We're still up $700 at a 75% win rate, and we only need to win one more. So let's go and see if we can find that last trade. And would you believe it? We have it right over here. We have 2 reds over here, as you can see. So after 2 reds, what are we looking for? We are looking for a buy. And the moment we see that 2 red candle form over there, the 2 red candle pattern, right? The moment we see that form, what we want to do is then buy on this candle. And as a result, you can see I would end up winning the trade right over there. So let's go and add that one there. And there we go. We have reached our 5 units that we were aiming for during this backtesting session. Like I said, I'll do a live session for this in the next video so that you can see how it performs when I actually place these trades, and you can actually see how I look forward in real time and place those trades in real time. But overall, you can see how good the strategy actually performs when you identify these sideways moving markets correctly. And it's very simple. You're just looking for a main push upwards, wait for it to move back downwards, and what we call do a pullback or a retracement. And then you wait for it to move sideways for a little bit, and then you just go in for trades, right? And the moment it breaks out, for example, over here, you can see it breaks out. These 2 green candles break out of our high points, or 2 red candles will close below our low point. Then you just get out and you leave it, because we know once it breaks out above or below, or for example over here above, it's just going to continue moving upwards and pushing upwards. So we would just get out of that trade, right? We wouldn't be trading this anymore. But as you can see, it has a really good win rate, a 77.78% win rate, and that is exactly how the student is able to make thousands of dollars each and every single day, and tens of thousands of dollars each and every single month using this strategy, right? And if you want to get more info and more insights into this type of strategy or plenty other strategies, or learn a lot more, I've also got a community over here with over 450 other traders with plenty of resources, right? I've scaled to over $450,000 myself. It is all verified. It is all legit. You can go see the proof in previous videos that I've done. I'm not going to do it every video because that's going to be a bit annoying, but you can go and see for yourself, right? And you can see inside of this community, I've got over 17 modules, right? Things like strategies, daily lessons, things like the vault, where you get recordings after hopping on live calls with me or the mentors, right? This is one of the mentors in the community and his strategy. On Mondays, you can hop on calls with me for 2 hours every single Monday. And on Wednesdays, you can hop on calls with those mentors and find out exactly how they were doing it, because they were once in the exact same situation that you are in right now, hesitant, wondering whether they should start or worrying whether they should start or not. And I'll tell you what, they took that risk, they made that decision, and it's completely changed their life. You are where they once were, and I believe in you, and I know you can make it happen. So if you want to get access to this community, like I said, just click the link below. I'll leave it down in the description along with the calculator. The calculator is also inside of this community, which is really cool, inside of the advanced tools module, right? For example, over here, you can see the 1% rule calculator, system building checklists, things like journals, right? The journal, I'm sure you probably have seen the journal before, and that you can go and use to go and track your sessions day by day, like your profit and loss, your calendar, everything like that. So many other extra tools that I can't even show you because they're that good, right? On top of that, there's plenty other modules, right? Because things like psychology are extremely important for your trading. You can't just go and trade and have good risk management, a good strategy, and track that with data and numbers. You still have to have your head screwed on, right? The threshold, like how do you know when you should move onto a real account, onto real capital? It is all here, right? That also reminds me, make sure to go and practice this strategy over here on demo before you move onto a real account and risk your real capital, because I want you to be comfortable with the strategy, right? On top of that, inside, we also have things like execution. We have things like trading routines, modifying your system, 2 big modules, right? Market mechanics and pattern recognition. I literally just taught you a pattern as well as market mechanics, right? The pattern we used was 2 up and then sell, or 2 down and buy inside of a sideways ranging market, which is the market mechanics. This teaches you plenty other strategies that you can use, plenty other patterns you can use that is going to take your trading to the next level. And obviously access to the private WhatsApp group and how to set up your pocket option platform and broker to look exactly like mine, so that you can actually get your payouts, get your deposits, and also have perfect processes and execution when you're trying to trade on pocket option, right? And also the main community over here, where I share announcements. You can chat to all the other students. You can share wins. Like the wins in here are insane, right? Here's another one of the mentors who is now currently up $3,779 just this month in 18 days, right? Today he got 100% win rates and made $496. The money that these students are making in this community is honestly insane. For example, well, I'm just going to show you mine over here. In the last 8 months, I've made over $230,000, and you can see my pocket option dashboard right over there. If you're wondering why I have this $10,000 account over here, that's because I'm trading this $10,000 over here to $1 million right in front of you each and every single day on this channel. So also you can subscribe and watch those videos that I post so that you can get a better idea of how I trade and how I'm able to scale to those numbers, because I've done it once and I'm going to do it again, right? And you can also see that just this month I am literally up $32,000, and just recently I did a $7,500 withdrawal, right? And that it's not just me doing this, it's plenty other students. The wins are just endless, over and over and over, and I'm so excited for you to join, right? There's also help tab, so if you have any questions you can post them here and I can answer them, right? That's if you can't, or you aren't able to actually ask them on these calls with the mentors or the calls with me, right? And lastly, it's the mental vault, right? Because the recordings of these sessions also get posted. You can see some of the calls that happen with one of the mentors over here, but also I share some of the valuable insights that I would like to share in this community as well. But yeah, that is the range trading strategy using the fair price and a little bit of mean reversion using reversal patterns. And you can see once again it works out here: 2 red, buy, win, 2 red, buy, win, right? It's all over the show, right? These patterns are everywhere, no matter where you look inside of these sideways moving markets. Go test it out for yourself. As I said, I'm going to do a live session using the strategy, and I'm going to try do it as part of my challenge where I'm scaling to $1 million with my $10,000 account, which I'm currently at $432 on, right? So stay tuned for that video. I'm really grateful that you came across this channel. If you are new and if you have been subscribed already, I hope that you're enjoying these videos, and let me know down in the comments if you want to see any other videos, if you have any ideas or any videos that you want me to create that could help you become more profitable as a trader. But other than that, make sure to join the course that I have, make sure to join the community that I have, make sure to go and grab this calculator over here, and like I said, make sure to go and join this community. It's all going to be in the description. Go and click that link, go and join it. I'm excited to meet you all and help you become more profitable. Peace.